we've started to see a bunch of our metrics inflect as of late last year, beginning of this year. Things were kind of doing well, but somehow they really just, the shapes of the curves changed. They really went parabolic. Is that matched in what you guys see? Was there some trajectory change? Like, why are we seeing this?
I do think the models got really good, especially for coding, but really good in general, starting late last year. It seemed to all correlate with the models hitting some threshold.
Parabolic. That's the word Stripe CEO Patrick Collison used to describe the growth he's seeing right now. He just sat down with Sam Altman, the CEO of the company building the most powerful AI in the world and one of his oldest friends, for one of the most honest conversations I've seen from Sam in years. No keynote polish, no talking points, just two people who've known each other for nearly 20 years, talking about what's actually happening. I've pulled the moments that matter most for anyone building right now. Subscribe if you're new. Let's go.
It does feel like we are somehow in the takeoff. Day 119 feels like a reasonable enough guess. The next kind of coding-like thing that I think will happen is not any specific domain, but the realization of how much time people waste trying to use a computer. And the idea that you can do a huge percentage of your day in a very different way. And maybe you don't realize like how much time you spend clicking between messaging apps and copying and pasting stuff and responding to very boring things that you could clearly automate once. But the degree to which most people will realize they can sit back and watch an AI do most of their drudgery is going to surprise people. And in my own experience trying to work that way, it actually gives me much more enjoyment of work. After we had finished training GPT-4, there were about 8 months before we released it. And so there was this 8-month period inside of OpenAI where we were all using this thing. We kind of knew that it was dramatically better and different and gonna unlock a bunch of things in the world. And no one outside the company, or almost no one outside the company, knew about it. And there was this, we'd walk the halls sometimes. We'd be are we engaging in collective psychosis? Have we gotten totally whipped each other into this frenzy? And there was no feedback to keep us in check or sane from the outside world. And it doesn't sound that weird relative to crazy board drama or Elon trial or something like that, but living through it was an unbelievably strange time.
8 months, the most powerful AI system in the world, and the people building it weren't sure if they were delusional or genuinely onto something. That story matters because it tells you something about where we are right now. The things that feel parabolic and hard to explain aren't anomalies. They're thresholds, and history keeps showing us that once the threshold is crossed, the world reorganizes around it very fast. Which brings me to the most important thing Sam said for anyone building right now.
There was a time when we used to make fun of the idea guy. There were these people who wanted to start a company, and they'd say I have the best idea. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. I have the best idea. I just need a coder to build it for me. And then I'm gonna be in great shape. And we would make fun of these people. They weren't that successful. And it was kind of always personally annoying to me because it's it would be saying I have a great idea for a song and I just need that guy with the guitar to make it for me. And so it didn't work. And YC had a version of this, which is teams without non-technical founders are difficult to get work. All of a sudden, it's the revenge of the idea guys, which is actually awesome for the world. I'm happy, I'm here for it for sure. But for a long time, I think the most important ingredient that I looked for, YC looked for, that kind of this part of our industry looked for on a founding team was technical talent. And that's still very important, but now people who just really deeply understand their users and can't code at all, I want to fund those people. And that's a big turnaround.
That is the single most important thing Sam Altman has said for the audience of this channel. For years, if you couldn't code or couldn't afford to hire someone who could, your idea stayed an idea. The technical barrier was the filter that kept most people out. Sam is saying that filter is gone. If you deeply understand the problem and the people who have it, you can now build the solution. The coding is handled. What matters is the insight. That's not a small shift. That's a structural change in who gets to build things. And this is happening right now. If this is landing, hit the like button. Back to Sam.
I think of what we're doing is building sort of a new utility. And people are going to want to use a lot of tokens, a lot of intelligence in all sorts of ways. We need to make that as smart, as cheap, as abundant, as easy to use as possible. And that will require, I think, pretty deep full stack integration and a massive, massive infrastructure build out. A friend of both of ours, Toby Luckey of Shopify, was the first CEO I knew that just said, we are going to be all in on AI in the way we run our company. And he got his hands dirty just building AI automation of everything and made his team do it. And said, we're just going to figure out how we take all of these things that are bad and make them good with AI. And it was not a token leaderboard. It was not some other kind of gamified, hackable thing. It was just the CEO of the company said, we are now going to put AI into everything we do. And I'm going to not be happy with you, I guess, or we're not going to allow it if you're not doing that. A second thing is being uncomfortably permissive with data access. There's huge reasons not to do this, and I'm stopping short of a recommendation. You just ask what I've seen from the most effective companies. This is easier for small startups than companies that have a lot of sensitive data and a lot of, process and compliance in place. But saying we are going to record our meetings. We are going to let this AI have access to our code base. We are going to let this have access to every Slack message, every email, everything. And every employee at the company is going to get to use it that way. It is amazing watching these 2 or 3 person startups and AI doing everything work.
The Tempo team set up a harness, a tool in their Slack installation for orchestrating pretty much everything at the company.
Yeah.
Everything. You can just ask any task, go and read these Google Docs, turn those into a bunch of linear tasks, then go write a pull request to implement them, then go deploy them and use our log analysis tool to test that the deployment actually worked. And the agent will happily go and employ tool use across all of this. And it's extremely trippy watching a small organization, but an organization of people do everything in a single Slack channel.
3 things. CEO goes first and gets their hands dirty. Uncomfortably permissive with data. And the single agent layer that touches everything. The third one, the Tempo example, is the one I keep coming back to. A team of a few dozen people running their entire company through one Slack channel with an AI agent reading docs, writing code, deploying it, and checking if it worked. That's not a startup hack. That's a preview of how every efficient company will operate in 3 years. Subscribe. Every week we break down the top CEOs so you never miss what's coming. Back to Sam.
I think this will be clearly at this point the most expensive infrastructure project that the world has ever undertaken. The revenue is ramping to meet it, so people feel better about that. Also, the efficiency gains that we've all been finding are incredible. So we're going to get way more out of each GPU than I thought we were going to. But as has often been remarked, like the demand goes up more than linearly as you drop the price of each kind of unit of intelligence, particularly if you can drop the price and the sort of speed with which you get it back. So this question now of like, what is enough? I don't have a good answer to. In some sense, I think demand for intelligence at a low enough price is effectively uncapped. Starting with the models of a few months ago, but really now with 5.5, the models have gotten smart enough that excellent scientists are saying, I am able to figure out better ideas. The models are able to make some small but important discoveries, and the pace of science is going to increase. Eventually, we'll have automated labs and robots and building who knows what, and we'll be able to do science much faster. But if we can start doing like a decade of science of what it would have taken us in the old world in a year, the compounding effect there and what we'll be able to do and discover will just be extremely great. The most controversial decision we made in history of OpenAI was what we now call iterative deployment. But a lot of the thinking at the time that we released ChatGPT was this was insanely dangerous to do. You can't do this. Only this like small set of people who've been thinking about AI safety can know what's coming. It's an info hazard to tell the world, and it's all too dangerous to ever release. We have to keep this locked up. And we'll, in our ivory tower, we will discover these wonderful things and we'll share the fruits with the world, but we'll have the AI and we'll control it. And that sat very poorly with me. And I thought then, and I believe now, that it is extremely important that we avoid that kind of power concentration and that we build this for the world.
Demand for intelligence at a low enough price is effectively uncapped. A decade of science compressed into a year, and the most important decision, releasing it to the world instead of locking it up. 3 statements, each one is worth sitting with. Patrick asked Sam at the end of the interview, "What is your single biggest contribution to the world?" Sam said, "Democratization, making sure AI is something everyone gets to use and build on, not something locked away in an ivory tower by the people who built it." The irony is that the same interview where Sam talks about democratizing AI also gave us the clearest picture of who wins in this new world. It's not the people waiting for the technology to get better. It's not the people hoping someone else will figure it out. It's the people who go first, who get their hands dirty, who understand their users better than anyone, and who build while the window is open. Like this if it hit differently. Subscribe if you're not already. And drop a comment, technical or non-technical founder. How has AI changed what you can build? See you on the next one.